Hey everyone, it's Wowous, and I'm bringing you today a Let's Play of Defense Grid 2. This is the second of the series, the first of which I posted a few days ago. And today we're going to go again into the campaign, and last time we played through Surface Tension, and this time we're going to play through the map Refuge. And we'll play through the story mode, which is the original mode, with an open type with a normal difficulty. And again, we're going to play with General Kai because he has the orbital laser, and None has nothing. So you can see here at the start of this map has a lot more opportunity to kind of reroute. So we're going to need to take a look at that and see what we can do. So I'm going to start off quickly here by blocking off a few of the easiest paths, and I'm going to use these boosts to just sort of create a wall, and I can put things on those in a little bit. But this is definitely the way I want to have them kind of be forced to cut around. Now, one of the cool things in Defense Grid is you can see like these walkers ran up this way, and as soon as you build one of these things to block the path, they have to turn around, so you can actually catch some units kind of getting stuck, cutting back and forth. Now I really need to start putting in some towers, but there's a few towers that I definitely want to get up early. One is a temporal here, just to kind of slow these folks down. Now, early in the game, it's not unusual to have a lot of your cores kind of get taken, and then it becomes kind of a battle to make sure that the cores don't get out of the map. And that's really going to be the challenge here. I'm going to throw up a missile here. The missile is extremely powerful in this game. It's very expensive to upgrade, but it has huge range. You can see a lot of times using the gun is really effective in just getting folks to have to reroute just a little bit, and as well causing some damage as they run by. And that's what I'll be doing here. And I really like to put Infernos right at the edge, so as they kind of run around a circle here, you throw an Inferno up and they get burned the entire time they have to turn that corner. Especially some units like the Rhino, which go really slowly on corners. It's really helpful to have those Infernos there. And then what I'm going to do is block off this path here. And that really elongates kind of the way they're going to have to go about this. So yeah, it's very much like just creating a maze to try to get them to not be able to get back out. And using these boost platforms and putting a missile up here, this is going to give it this incredible range, pretty much most of the map. There we go, we made it through a few levels. And now this game really becomes a matter of upgrading the towers, figuring out how you can beat this using the fewest towers possible. And that's really the challenge. The more resources that you use, the lower your score will be. In this game, scoring is a little bit different than the last. The last game was all how many resources you kept. This game, they have apparently adjusted, so there's now scores for both. But long story short, you want to try to do the most you can with the fewest, the least towers that you can with the fewest towers. I'm going to upgrade the missile. I found that upgrading the missile in this game is extremely powerful. At the 3rd level, it's just a beast. And so these are some of the first towers I'm going to try to upgrade. You always want to use a good combination of towers because different units do better or worse with against different types of towers. The cannon is very effective for very strong units. The laser is very effective against fast units because it will continue to burn them after it's left its sort of area of influence. The temporal as well helps with all kinds of units. I think the temporal is the most powerful in the game. That and the missiles are the most powerful, especially at a level 3 here at the red tower. It's almost impossible to get through this for the early units in the game. And now we're going to start to see some of these huge units, and these are ones that you really have to focus down. And what you don't want to happen is for some of the smaller units to run the cores back around the map and then die right here, and then have one of these huge units pick them up and make their way to the exit. Now these huge units can carry 3 cores, and so it might seem like it's a little bit more dangerous to have them get all the way to the central core over here. But in reality, the further they go, the better. The more time you have to deal with them, the better. What you just don't want to have happen is have those cores drop right here, right at the entrance, where there's very few towers that are going to have a chance to hit them, and these things can take a beating. Now we see the rhinos coming in. These do really well with sort of longer paths, and I think I'm going to throw up a gun turret right here to kind of cause them to have to adjust their path yet again. So yeah, it's very much like a maze, like creating a maze, and I find that very interesting. See, the more curves you have, the better, the longer that they're going to be exposed to each one of these towers. Now, I'd really love to upgrade this missile tower, but it costs so much money. It's $1,200 to upgrade to the 3rd, and so I'm going to throw up another missile tower right here. And I'm going to upgrade this missile tower to a 2. And there we have one of the crashers picking up 3 cores, but it drops dead pretty much instantly. I'm actually going to upgrade this missile turret right here because it has the longer range to a red. And you'll see that it will shoot out, I think, 4 missiles at once, and it's just extremely, extremely powerful. Yeah, it just kind of unloads on a bunch of different targets at once, so quite a powerful tower. I really like the addition of this. It was in the original defense grid, but you can only shoot up at flying units, and in these 2 beta maps, there aren't any flying units, so I don't know if it's something they got rid of. It added a little bit of strategy to the game because some units couldn't target, like the cannon couldn't target flying units, I think, and the Inferno couldn't hit the flying units, but not my favorite thing from the first game dealing with flying units, and they kind of had like weird other paths that they just kind of flew straight in and then flew off. And it was pretty much annoying where you had to split your resources, but we'll see if they bring them back this game. But as of yet, no sign of them. So what I'm going to do here is I could even kind of block this even more by forcing them around this longer series. See, another way you could do it is you could use 3 towers here and block this off, and then sell this and cause them to loop all the way around here too, which would just be even more kind of damage to do to them. Gun can barely hit those, a laser can barely hit those. I'm going to put the cannon right in the middle here, and I'll put the laser on top of this boost. But I think I'm doing all right with the number of turrets I have for the moment. It's just going to be a game of kind of slowly upgrading them, seeing where I have sort of weaknesses, but I think this is pretty strong overall. And what I like about Defense Grid is it's really a game of trial and error. You kind of watch what happens. Very rarely do you get a gold medal in your first playthrough. You have to really maximize your efficiency. You have to kind of watch what happens, figure out new pathing, and even playing this right now, you can kind of see where there are inefficiencies, where you could put things a little different. I probably wouldn't have put a cannon right here in hindsight. It probably should have been a laser turret. The cannon tends to do better in an area like this, where it can kind of shoot one at a time, and it's not right up on top of it. But at the same time, the cannon here kind of gives it that shot pretty far away. And that's why I have a missile here, so that it can hit units going right to the exit in case that becomes an issue. But yeah, even this crasher isn't gonna make it too far, it looks like. I think, you know, just creating that sort of maze right at the beginning. The first step in the map is always to block off the easiest routes, so all these towers. And then this one here, you want to make the route as long as possible because it just buys you time. And time is really what you need. You want them to go as far away as possible. You want them to be on the map as long as possible. And it buys you time. If something goes wrong or some unit you don't expect flies in or rushes in, you have time to react to it. You don't want them to have a really easy access to the exit, because that can just crush you if somebody drops a unit. You know, unit drops a core right here, you're pretty much out of luck getting to the exit. You see here more rhinos. I haven't even needed to utilize the orbital laser as of yet. And what I do with the orbital laser, and my strategy was in the first game, which had the orbital laser as well, is I really didn't utilize it unless it was a last-ditch effort. If all of a sudden I had cores being dropped right here at the exit, I had a ton of units coming in, and I was gonna lose, or you know, it was the last core, or I was trying to save all the cores, and this was kind of the last rounds of units, you could drop the orbital laser like right here. It has usually like a 5-minute cooldown, so it's something you have to use kind of sparingly, but definitely something that's good to know that you have at your disposal. But I try not to use it too often. Kind of just like to let my towers do the work for me. Yeah, these missile turrets are so powerful. And these kind of walker units are very susceptible to these Inferno towers because they all group together and they all get burnt by this kind of cone of attack here. Kind of see it close up here. Just not much those little guys can do here. On to wave 17 or wave 18 it is. More of these guys, crashers. Not really much that I've needed to worry about so far. I haven't even really been concerned too much with upgrading a lot of these towers, the green towers, because they're just not doing, you know, they're just not getting anywhere near coming back. It usually becomes the problem. The first game, the problem was, especially in the more difficult levels, there are, in many cases, multiple entrances and exits. You had kind of folks rushing in each way, and it was a game of like, let's just keep the cores on the map and not have them get the exit. And so you were playing a lot right here, right by the exit, and trying to avoid having your cores get lost. In a lot of games, especially in my first playthrough of Defense Grid 1, The Awakening, you just played a game of, can I keep this one last core on the map so that I don't lose? And so far I haven't really seen that with these two. Again, these are two beta maps, but it hasn't been that stressful. And I'm sure that there'll be that opportunity for much more challenging maps once the full game comes out. But you know, so far not super challenging. And just now are we seeing, okay, there's a lot of units now on this map, and a lot of folks are making it over here. And my concern again is going to be these little swarmers getting back out over here and then dropping them to the crashers, especially these last two crashers that have a lot of health left. And then if those crashers die over here, you got all these rhinos coming. So this is the first time where I'm saying, okay, I might need to start upgrading some more stuff. I'm gonna upgrade this missile tower first. So here are 2 cores heading out. Those are our kind of lead cores. Both those units are right around half health. And it looks like they're gonna actually successfully get by all the rhinos, and so that's good because there's not another wave coming. This is the last waves. So every unit that you take out, it's now just a game of don't let any of these units get back out. This crasher has 3, this crasher has 1, and then this crasher has 3. So all the cores are now in play, as you can see in the top left corner. They all have arrows. And see, this crasher is not going to make that. Especially with these missile turrets just pounding away. I'm going to overcharge this to give it just even more power. A lot of rhinos here. This is when I have to definitely consider, am I going to have to drop an orbital strike here? Because there's a lot of units right here at the exit. How far are they going to get? This crasher probably won't be able to make it. There's a lot of damage heading right to it. It should fall right around here. But these rhinos, there's so many of them. Looks like my towers may be able to do it. Let's see. I'm going to drop an orbital strike right at the exit. Took out all those folks. And that's kind of how you save those last cores from dropping off the map, is just drop an orbital strike like that. We get the one last crasher, but he should be no problem. He's by himself. He's taking the brunt of all the towers. But you can kind of see even that orbital strike, you have to make a last-second decision to drop it just to save those cores, because the missiles wouldn't be able to take out all of those units. So all in all, a very successful run through the map. It gets us a gold medal here. And apparently we had 2 cores stolen. I don't even know when that happened. It must have been at the beginning of the game. But overall, a very successful run-through of the map, and very enjoyable. It's always nice to get that gold medal, even though we didn't save every single core. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you watch, and then you can like as well, or if you'd like to throw a comment my way, if you'd like to see something or whatnot, feel free to drop a comment my way. And thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day.